Turning with Gumbys, with these front to back to front Gumbys, to be precise. I'm not going to show the Gumby itself here in this tutorial. I got another tutorial out there, you find the link in the description. So if you can't do them already, ideally in both directions, check out that other tutorial, and when you can do them, come back for the turning part. I just showed you 8 different ways to turn with this Gumby. And before I go over these in detail, just a few remarks on turning in your flow in general. Turning is a great way to add a dancey feeling to your flow. So if you start to turn, you start dancing, or it's one way to really start dancing with your tools. For a move like the Gumby that goes from front to back to front, it's also a way to keep the whip between you and your audience all the time. So when I'm starting here, my whip in front, you are my audience. When I turn, it's behind my back, but because I'm turned my back to you, you can still see it between me and you. And then I turn again, and it's still here facing the audience. So if you think about how to present your whip moves to an audience for a performance, that's something to keep in mind and something to play with. The Gumby itself, I think, is a really good move to explore how to dance with your whip, because it's so versatile to really make your whip movement and your body movement one unit and not two separate things. You're moving your feet and you're doing something with your whip, but they don't have to do anything with each other. These ones you can really melt into one movement, at least I think so. Now, how can you turn in your whip flow? Well, there are thousands of ways how to turn. Just look at all the dancers, all the different dance styles, and you see really thousands of different ways how to turn. I just want to show you 2 really basic ways of footwork that occur in the flow arts pretty often. So put your whip away for a second. One way to turn is by stepping in a line. So I start here at the sofa side, walk over to the dragon tree. I can turn just by half circles, looks like this. Just step by step, and always stay and turn 180 degrees. If I do this, my legs will always pass each other on the same side of this imaginary line. So if you imagine a line here, and I start by stepping here towards the camera. So the first leg will go around past the camera, and the other one also pass the camera. Back the other way. If I start my first step behind towards the table, all my steps will pass towards the table. The other side as well. So that's the linear stepping. The other way is to turn on one spot. For that you have one leg like it was pinned to the floor. You can shift and turn it, but it will stay in this place. And with the other leg you're stepping around. This leg will just pivot, and you step 180 degrees, and pivot, step, pivot, step, pivot, step. The other leg, same thing. Put your weight on that leg. You can shift here, so you pivot, step, pivot, step, pivot, step, pivot, step. And to these basic ways of stepping you can add your whip movements. Now when you add your whip movements, there are several ways how to combine the stepping and your arm movement. One thing is your turning has a direction. So when I start here, turn towards the sofa, I'm turning from, I was standing on a clock, I would turn counterclockwise from my perspective. And the whip movement itself also has a direction. So when I go from here to there, I also start my movement, I can start it towards the sofa, or I can start it towards the dragon chair. And now you have two options how to combine this body movement of turning with your whip movement. You can do them in the same direction or more or less the same direction. It's not the same planes, but direction go together or in opposite. So I can turn, I can do the body movement and the whip movement in the same direction. So both starting here towards the sofa, like so. And I can do them in opposite directions. So my whip movement, in this case, still goes to the sofa, but I turn towards the dragon tree. It's like this. And for moves like the Gumby, you have another option how to combine your body movement and your whip movement. For this line you're stepping, you move your legs alternately. So I start here with my left leg, it's left, right, left, right. I'll start with the right leg, left, right, left. For the Gumby, you also move your arms alternately. So I start here with my right arm and then my left arm. Or I can start with my left arm, follow with my right arm. There's another way to combine this. You can use your same side arm and leg, and you can use or initiate the move with the opposite arm and leg. It altogether sums up to 4 different ways how to turn with this move. You can use the same side arm and leg and move in the same direction. That's this one. You can move in the same direction using your opposite arm and leg. That's this one. Then you can move in the opposite direction and use the same side arm and leg. That's this one. And you can move in the opposite direction using your opposite arm and leg. And that's this one. These are the 4 options if you turn by stepping in a line. If you turn by stepping in a circle, it is always the same leg that does the stepping around. One leg is pinned and the other one, so in this case it's my right leg, it would just always be my right leg stepping around. That means if you have an arm movement where you use your arms alternately, if you're stepping on the spot, this will lead to the effect that on one half circle you will move the same arm and leg, and on the other half circle is the opposite arm and leg. And you again get 4 options. So you start, same direction of movement, same arm and leg, it's this. And at the same leg continues, but you use the other arm. On the second half it's the opposite arm and leg. Then you can start same direction of movement with the opposite arm and leg, it's this. And on the second half it's the same side arm and leg. And you have the opposite directions of movement, starting with the same arm and leg. That would be this. And on the second half you have the opposite arm and leg. And the last one, starting with the opposite arm and leg, opposite directions of movement. And then on the second half you have the same side arm and leg. So these altogether were 8 different versions. Some of you may think, oh God, you're overdoing it, you're overthinking it, who needs so many options? I think it's really worthwhile to play with them all and really try and check how they feel, in what kind of dance style they fit, and just try them and teach your body something new, even if at the end of the day you only keep 1 or 2 of these options for your flow. But it just broadens your variety of moves and really can diversify your flow, even if you don't really keep all of these options. I think really playing with them, doing them big, small, and check out what they can do, what they can add to your flow is always worthwhile, even if it sounds really overthinking in the beginning. So in the next videos I'll show you the different versions in details.